Yo, what's up everyone? This video we're looking at the Thursday night showdown picks between the Bucks and the Panthers. So let's get right into it. As always on showdowns, we have some big contests, big prize pools. So, let's try to hopefully at least take one down or at least tie for the first place. Before we get started, you can drop a like on the video and subscribe as well. And if you want to join us, you can visit the website, links in description. Looking to bounce back this week 2 after, not having a good week 1. So let's start off here at capped. Well, first we'll talk about all the players like I did in my last video, and then we'll look at some potential builds you can go with. McCaffrey at 12.4 is probably going to be the most popular play on the slate, and it's hard to argue with it. Has the most upside out of anyone. Him and Cam Newton have the highest upside. He's playing at home. Just a really good match of the Bucks defense. They're not very good against running backs, or they weren't very good last season. McCaffrey is just on the field almost the entire game, minus a couple of plays where he just needs to catch his breath, but he's the entire offense through in the backfield. He's also pretty much a wide receiver, getting 10 plus targets in week 1, got 11 targets, made it 10 catches. Monster touchdown upside. He's just such a good player. Hard to fade him on the showdown slate. Cam Newton didn't have a good week 1 in terms of statistical. Only had 7.4 Draftkings points, but I think he's going to bounce back. He didn't really have any rushing yards, had -2 yards on the ground. But I think more weeks than not, Cam Newton is going to get multiple touchdowns. He just didn't really get a touchdown. McCaffrey got the 2 touchdowns on the ground. We know Cam Newton at the goal line will also not hesitate to run one in, so I think he's also a really strong play this week. Winston on the road here. I'm not super high on him unless you want to play 2 quarterbacks. I think if I had to pick one quarterback, I would definitely lean to Cam Newton at home. Winston is just very turnover prone. I think you could even look at like the Panthers defense here at home. But Winston also on the other side, on the other hand, he has to make an impression unless, if he continues to struggle, he's going to get benched again. So he definitely is motivated to play well. It's just if he has the talent to. So minus some GPP builds, I don't think he's a priority in cash. Mike Evans always has a ton of upside. Maybe he was actually sick in week 1 leading up to it. He had some sickness, but and that affected him. He only had 2 catches. Usually he's getting much more targets than that, but the entire offense of the Bucks just didn't get it going, so you can't really put too much stock into it. At 9,600, Evans is still the top wide receiver on the slate. Godwin at 86 is a fine play. I'd probably go down to like a DJ Moore a little bit, just because if I'm paying up for one of the Bucks receivers, it would be Mike Evans, just because him and Godwin are very similarly priced. DJ Moore's a fine play here. He got 10 targets in week 1. It's going to be DJ Moore getting most of the wide receiver targets. He is a wide receiver 1 in the offense. He will get some red zone looks. I think at 8,000, he's a very viable play. Same thing with Samuel. He did play 90% of the snaps, as you see, just didn't turn into any production. But that's what he's going to be all season. He's going to be a boom or bust player. Some games he's not going to have good games. He's not going to have good outings. In other games he's going to have like solid monster scores. I think this week against the Bucks defense, good chance that he can bounce back after a poor week 1. So I like Samuel. I also like OJ Howard. This is supposed to be his breakout season. And I'm not really putting any stock into any of the Bucks receivers or tight ends, just because Winston only had sub 200 passing yards. But Winston also loves to throw the ball, and he will chuck, and most of the weeks he will have like 200, 250, 300 plus passing yards. And that's going to go to guys like Winston and Evans and Godwin. Those 3 are going to get most of the looks and through the air. So I like OJ Howard, the cheapest of the group, with a bunch of upside, especially if they do get near the red zone. They like to look his way and Mike Evans' way a lot. Greg Olsen, not that interested in him. He's always hurt. That's always going to limit some of his snap counts if he's not healthy. And with OJ Howard right there, I would rather go to OJ Howard. And down here, picking between Barber and Jones. I definitely love Jones here. This is his second year. He's going to probably eventually overtake Peyton Barber. He got more touches than him in week 1. And he played much better. He had 75 yards on the ground compared to 33 for Barber. I think he's gonna take over the running back one duties very soon. He's only 5,000. I absolutely love that price tag. And then we kind of get into like some scrubs here that are just some punt GPP plays and Wright or Perryman. I like the Panthers defense a little bit here at 4,200. The fact that they're at home facing a turnover-prone quarterback. And then I think you can go with both of the kickers, Sly and Gay. Both kickers are in play. It's hard to prioritize a kicker, but probably go with the higher scoring offense, which is going to be the Panthers. And that's kind of it. Nobody else I really see outside of a GPP dart throw. So this player pool is pretty condensed for the showdown slate. So I think a way to get tricky is to just leave some money on the table. Just because if you fill out the full lineup, going with McCaffrey at captain, Newton, if you get all those players, then you're going to tie with thousands of people, and you're probably going to split like $100, even if you do take home first place. So look at some builds where you can probably leave some money on the table if you wanted to, and then look at where you can fill out the entire lineup. But if you go McCaffrey at captain, obviously he's probably the best play on the slate. I want to go him and Cam Newton at 11,000. I know cheap here, I really like Ronald Jones at only 5,000. You still have over 5,000 left. I would definitely go with one of the kickers here. If you go with Sly at 34, now you're up to 6,000. If you think the Bucs are going to struggle to score, no problem just going with their kicker if they can get some field goals. And then you have 8,800 left. And then you could go with like a DJ Moore and leave $800 on the table. Or if you're not feeling that, you could go up to Chris Godwin. Although I think Moore is probably similarly projected to Chris Godwin here. But you also do have 800 left, so you could also go with the Panthers defense here. So this one looks pretty good. You get the two bucks that you get are Gay, the kicker, who's always independent of the offense most of the time. If they get in the red zone but they can't score, then he's going to get points. And Ronald Jones is going to get some carries on the ground. And if the passing game has a bad game, if Winston struggles once again, it's not like Jones can't have a good game at least. So it's unlike if Winston struggles a lot, then it's unlikely that Mike Evans, Godwin, O.J. Howard have a big day. So this is something that I like. If you want to switch it up here and you want to play Cam Newton at captain, we'll see how much money that frees up. It should free up quite a bit. About $700. That's a sizable amount. With that money, you could go from the Panthers defense. I don't really want to punt on any of these guys. The cheapest other guy I would probably go to is like a O.J. Howard. So if we want to try to get O.J. Howard in there, then we'll go down from DJ Moore to 6,300. We're a little bit away from getting to Curtis Samuel, which kind of stinks. But let's see what we can do here. If we go, we'll take out the $5,000 Jones. You could probably go up here to Curtis Samuel, and then you have 4,300 left. You go play the Panthers defense once again. So you get a decent high upside guy there in O.J. Howard. Still get the Panthers defense, who should put up some points at least. And you still get McCaffrey, you get Samuel. This is also a build that I do not mind at all. And last but not least, we'll look at one where we do get with some bucks in there. And to do that, I'm going to go cheap at captain. And the guy I'm going to go with at captain is probably going to be Jones, just because he's really, really cheap. If you do go with Jones at captain here, 7,500, you can still go McCaffrey. You can go Cam Newton. You can even go Jameis Winston. And then you can get the kicker in there. You can get one of the kickers, Sly. 5,300 left. You're a little bit away from getting into any solid players. So let's see, instead of Winston here at 10-4, we could go with Mike Evans. And now you have a little bit more flexibility, although you're a little bit away from a guy like O.J. Howard still. So to do that, we could probably take Cam Newton out if you want to just stack the Bucs here. This is a lineup to stack the Bucs. Not like I recommend doing this, but you never know. Anything can happen. So in GPPs, this is a lineup that I doubt a lot of people would have, and it's very unique. So you're always trying to take home this top spot. You got to be creative with it. So this is one that I think you can go with if you want to get sneaky and stack the Bucs, because you get all their high-profiled offensive players, and you still get McCaffrey of the Panthers. So I think this one is probably good for tournaments. But I'm going to go back to the one that I liked a lot, which was McCaffrey here at captain with Cam Newton, with Sly, with the Panthers defense, with Ronald Jones, not right with Jones, and with OJ Howard. Oh, not Howard. It was Samuel here at 7,000. I think this one's fine. Although I think you can also upgrade this a little bit here if you wanted to. Instead of playing Jones, let's see if we can get Howard in there. You can get Howard in there by going with the 2-kicker approach. You get Howard with Samuel at 7,000. So this is also another one that you can go with if you don't like playing the defenses. But that's it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And good luck today.